back to This Day. Joining me now from the Orange County Fire Authority is Captain Brett Cowdell. Captain Brett, so nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in. It's your off day, so really appreciate you coming in. You said you're gonna be mowing the lawn after this today.
I will. My pleasure.
So I was just asking you, it's heating up this week. Nice, beautiful temperatures. Do you enjoy that? You like that, or is that more problematic being in your profession, you know, for potential fires?
Not so much the heat, but the Santa Ana winds. Those, and I believe we're expecting a Santa Ana wind event this week, a mild event. That is what concerns me a little bit more. I work in a station that has one of our brush engines that is called to respond to any fires that happen in the hillsides. And so I'm acutely aware of any incident that might cause that brush fire to spark up, because we can be gone for anywhere from 1 day to 7 or to 14 days. So I'm aware of those things. Yes, the heat does make me perk up a little bit and pay close attention to what's going on out there.
Yeah, definitely a dangerous job for sure. Did you ever consider that, getting into this career, about the danger that could happen with this job?
Growing up in a house with 5 brothers, I kind of found myself geared towards danger, towards daredevil types of things. The aspect that attracted me to this job was truly helping people who needed help, who needed emergency care. I found myself as the ocean lifeguard as a teenager, and I really loved helping in that regard. And so this was a natural extension of that.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're one of 5?
I'm one of 6. I have a sister.
One girl. Now, where does she fall?
She's the oldest.
She's the oldest. And where are you?
I'm towards the bottom.
I love that. I love that. I have 5 as well. 1 daughter, 4 boys. Wow. So I know what you mean about the boys. They're rough and tough, that's for sure. So just recently was the National Falls Prevention Week in conjunction with the National Council on Aging. And so this is something I know you wanted to talk about raising awareness for how to prevent falls among older adults. Most falls are preventable.
They are, and we do see a lot of falls, particularly in Laguna Woods, and there are things people can do to minimize the risk of fall, and so that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, how can someone, you know, reduce their risk for a fall? What are the steps that they can take?
Well, there are several steps people can take. One of them, of course, is being aware of the condition of your home and making sure that there are grab bars accessible near the shower, near the toilet, that the rugs that are used are non-slip. Anybody that's wearing stockings or socks as winter approaches, to wear socks that have grip so they don't slip and fall. And lighting is always appropriate. We need to make sure that lighting is appropriate so people can see, so that if there's a step, if the steps are marked, people can avoid any mishaps or falls. Yeah, that's the first step.
These are the common things in the house: the loose rug, the pet that darts out, or getting up in the middle of the night, not having enough light to see. You know, and yeah, as you said, wearing socks. I didn't even think about that. You probably should wear something with a tread on it, if not the socks with the sticky on it. One of the other things that I looked up was about balance, finding a balance or exercise program. That it's a lot of people believe that reducing your level of activity will help to reduce a fall, but actually that's just the opposite. You should be doing things to have better balance.
That's right.
As well.
People really, it's never too late to start. It's never too late to build muscle. It's never too late to be aware of weaknesses and strengths that you might have in your physical fitness and to work on balance. I know here in Laguna Woods there are balance classes that are offered, and it's important for people to get involved, to work on balance, so that if there is ever an incident where they get dizzy or they might slip and fall, that they do have a better chance of catching themselves before any injury can occur. So yeah, muscles, working on core strength, working on balance, that will definitely help minimize the risk of fall.
And according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 of 4 older Americans fall each year, and then a single fall doubles the chance of falling again. So prevention is absolutely key, and prevention is possible. What about some of the other things that people can do, such as going to the doctor, checking your medications,
Absolutely.
things like this?
There's a couple things people can do. Number 1 is being aware of your medication and your diet. If anybody's gone through particular weight loss or weight gain, medications might not be in the appropriate dosage anymore, because sometimes they're based on weight. So if you're on a blood pressure medication, if you're on a diabetic medication, you might have your blood sugar out of balance or your blood pressure out of balance, and that can cause people to become dizzy and fall. Also being aware of areas of common occurrence is very, very important. Most falls, 80% of falls occur in the bathroom where there are slippery surfaces, and the shower where people can fall and particularly get hurt on tile or hard surfaces. That's important. And then when people get out of bed, sometimes people get out of bed momentarily at night. It's important to sit up for just a moment to let your vasculature adjust. As we age, our vasculature takes longer to adjust. So if we sit at the bedside for just 30 seconds before getting up, maybe to use the bathroom or to get a snack, that can help prevent falls too. People get up in the middle of the night and they need to turn on the appropriate lighting so they can see where they're stepping. All of these things will help people to be safe and not fall.
Wow, yeah, I guess that's, you don't realize when all of a sudden you could get just a little dizzy for a moment, you know, from, I guess, from laying down and sitting up all this rapidly, so that makes sense. And
yeah, I notice it myself.
Yeah.
I'm 52, and even at my age, I'm noticing that if sometimes I get up too quickly, I can feel it in my head. And that just continues to grow as we age. Your vasculature just takes time to adjust to gravity.
And you mentioned diet, because yeah, I have the same thing, like, oh, I skipped breakfast today, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing stars. It's like, oh, wait a minute, why is that happening?
All of that can happen, yeah.
So, makes sense. So you have an updated senior fall prevention facts sheet, and a couple of the facts that kind of stuck out to me. 35% of adults 65 and older suffer traumatic brain injuries after a fall. 87% of fractures in adults over 65 years are a result of falls. Most alarming of all, of the older adults who suffer a hip fracture from a fall, 25% will make a full recovery, 40% will require nursing home care, 50% will need a cane or walker, and 20% will die within 12 months. I mean, that's some scary statistics.
Yeah, they're startling statistics. We really want people to be aware of those statistics because when a fall results in an injury, particularly a bone break or a hip fracture, God forbid, those are difficult to recover from. The fatality rate or the mortality rate does increase significantly with a hip fracture. And as we age, our bones just get more brittle. They do. And it's important to be aware of that and to take the proper steps so that we don't fall, so that we can avoid that bone break and stay safe and stay healthy and live long to see those people that we love.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you, I'm sure you have, dealt with this issue where you've been called out when someone has fallen. What are the steps, you know, the fire department or the paramedics take when they come out and someone has fallen?
Well, most falls seem to come at night. So we get called out of bed, we come in, we appreciate it when there's a way into the home. Sometimes the door is locked and people have a key with a neighbor or hidden somewhere, and that sometimes can be kept in our notes. So we have a way in, and as we approach the patient, we try to make sure that we know the extent of the injuries. We check for head and neck injury first because that's the most important thing, and then we look for any other injuries throughout the body because falls can result in those injuries. The signs that we look for in a hip fracture is shortening and rotation of the affected leg or on the side that might have the fracture. If the leg is particularly short or if it's rotated externally, that's one red flag that we look for in a hip fracture. So when we see that, we treat very carefully. We can give pain medication, and then we do rapid transport to the hospital for immediate treatment.
Okay, and do you always recommend they should be taken, like if they do hit their head and like, no, I'm fine, I'm okay, do you always recommend they should go in and get it checked?
You know, it depends on the severity of the fall. We do recommend that people call us out, that they do call us and check us to see if they need transport. We will help them make that determination. If a fall results in the person falling to a seated position, the odds of injury are much more minimized. But if it results in a head injury as they hit the nightstand, then maybe we will transport the patient to the hospital to get that head injury or that leg fracture looked at, yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for this definitely very informative information, and I'm sure it'd be great, very good to know to prevent falls. So thank you for being here.
My pleasure.